నాకు ఇవాళ ಎಲ್ಲರೂ డౌట్ వచ్చింది ఇవన్నీ నేర్పడం కదా
जय राम कुंज बिहारी जय राम कुंज बिहारी गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी यशोदानन्दन व्रज जनरञ्जन यशोदानन्दन व्रज जनरञ्जन यमुनातीरावनचारी यमुनातीरावनचारी जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी गोपीजन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी यशोदानन्दन व्रज जनरञ्जन यमुनातीरावनचारी हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे जय प्रभुपद जय प्रभुपद प्रभुपद जय प्रभुपद जय गुरुदेव गुरुदेव जय जय गुरुदेव निताय गौर हरि बोल हरि बोल निताय गौर हरि बोल। ओम ज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरुवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपा कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकम् वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरो श्रीयुतापदकमलं श्रीगुरुन् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातां सहगणा रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवम् साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्ण चैतन्य देवं श्री राधा कृष्ण पदान् सहगणा ललिता श्री विशाखान्वितांश्च हे कृष्णा करुणा सिन्धु दीनबन्धो जगत्पते गोपेशा गोपिका कान्ता राधा कान्ता नमोस्तुते तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्येव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर Shivasati Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswati Vyasam Tato Jayamudiraye Nashtaprayeshu Abhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naistiki कृष्णाय वासुदेवाय देवकी नंदनाय च नंदगोपकुमाराय गोविन्दाय नमो नमः नमः पंकजनाभाय नमः पंकजमालिने नमः पंकजनेत्राय नमस्ते पंकजाग्रहे नमो महावदन्याय कृष्ण प्रेम प्रदायते कृष्णाय कृष्ण चैतन्य नामिने गुरुतिसे नमः नमो ब्राह्मण्याय देवाय गो ब्राह्मण हिताय च जगद्दिताय कृष्णाय गोविन्दाय नमो नमः नमः ओं विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्ति वेदांत स्वामिनिति नामिने नमस्ते सरस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे मुखं करोति वाचालं पङ्गुं लङ्घयति गिरिं कृपातं वन्दे श्रीगुरुदीनतां श्री परमानंद माधव श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य ईश्वर ओम पवित्र पवित्रो वा सर्वावस्थो गतो विवा यस्मरेत् पुण्डरीकाक्ष सा बाह्यव्यन्तरं शचि श्री विष्णु श्री विष्णु श्री विष्णु Hare Krishna, Prabhuji and Mataji. Thank you so much for giving me this opportunity to speak something about Srimad Bhagavatam. Although I am not qualified to speak, it's only the qualification of the Parampara, Guru Parampara, and especially His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Srila Prabhupada, and all the mercy of the Vaishnavas assembled over here. Thank you so much for giving me this opportunity. I speak something wrong, please forgive me. It is all because of my ego. I have spoken this. If there is any credit, it is to the Guru Parampara. Hare Krishna. So Hare Krishna Silpa Mataji, thank you so much for organizing today's session. Puja Mataji and Praveen Prabhu, thank you so much. Dandavat Pranam. Subhara Prabhu, Dandavat Pranam. Sirisha Mataji, Dandavat Pranam. Thank you,
हरे
Pushkala,
कृष्ण
for
प्रभु
joining.
दंडवत प्रणाम।
Hare Krishna Ramesh Prabhu, Dandavat Pranam. Sri Gopal Prabhu, Dandavat Pranam. Mallikarjuna Prabhu, Dandavat Pranam. Penela Mataji, Dandavat Pranam. Satyadev Prabhu, Srivalli Mataji, Dandavat Pranam.
Dandavat Pranam,
Lilananda Prabhu, Dandavat Pranam. Saraswati Mataji, Dandavat Pranam. Thank you so much.
Dandavat Pranam, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
हरे कृष्ण प्रभु।
So with all of your blessings, let us start our session today. So till the last week, we are reading Ajamila section. We have started Ajamila story. The 6th canto of the Srimad Bhagavatam speaks starting with Ajamila story. So in that, what we have seen, so Ajamila was a pure Brahmana. Actually, he was a very much qualified Brahmana, and he unfortunately, or by Krishna's will, he got a, he was supposed to see an obscene scene where he was attracted to that prostitute, and he wanted to get her at any cost. After getting the prostitute, he drives away his wife, his chaste wife, his parents, and tries to maintain this prostitute by doing all kinds of nonsense. So he was supposed to be a Brahmana, but became a he became a dacoit. He killed so many people. He not what not. He did so many things. So uh, ultimately, at the end of the day, end of his life, about 80 years or so, he comes to the deathbed. And at the last moment, when his soul was about to leave, the Yamadutas came there. So generally, we all know when any person leaves, Yamadutas come and take take the soul to the abode of the Yamaraj. In the Srimad Bhagavatam canto, third canto, if you see 31st chapter, how Yamadutas drag the soul from the body into the hellish conditions. So the soul has to travel so many hellish planets before reaching the abode of Yamaraj, where Yamaraj then punishes and gives a training for the next and prepares the soul for the next body. We have all read that chapter. So similarly, these Yamadutas, they came as as a duty of Yamaraj to take the soul of the Ajamila to the hellish planets. At that moment, he was afraid. So seeing that Yamadutas, he was very much afraid, and he calls his younger son, "Oh Narayana, please come here. Oh Narayana." Just he spoke about Narayana, 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 Narayana. And immediately Vishnudutas appeared. So Vishnudutas appeared there and says, and claims that this soul belongs to them. It's not for the Yamadutas. And we all have seen that for all the arguments given by the Yamadutas. The Yamadutas are following Yamaraj, who is a Mahajan. So they all know about this. So they are also expert in logic and argument. So they have given the reasons why Atamil needs to be taken to the hellish abode. So that was the sixth canto we have seen. So yesterday there was a death happened in our apartment. So one of the neighbor has passed away. So I was contemplating. So at the time of death, are we capable of chanting Narayana like Ajamil? We are nowhere. I am nowhere near Ajamil. At least Ajamil. So am I eligible to chant Narayana? I do not know. So that and we all have read it and Bhagavad Gita 8.3 Anta Kalecha Mami was Paran Mutta Kalevaram. Until and unless we chant the holy names at the last moment, there is no chance of going back to Godhead. So I was contemplating what should be done. So there is no other alternative except Shrutas like all of you. There is no other scope. At the last moment, it is impossible for at least for me to chant the Narayana. So I only hope is all Vishnudutas assembled over here. So I pray to all of you, whenever Yamadutas come for me, so please take the side of the Vishnudutas and defend my case. There is no other alternative. Hare Krishna. Thank you so much for giving me this opportunity. So let us start this chapter. I'll read the first sloka. So the purports are used. So I'll request only to read the translation and I'll start the explanation. The first text I will be reading. Shri Bhadarayanirvacha Evam te Bhagavat-duta Yamaduta Abhishasitam Upadharyatha Tanrajan Pratyahur Kovidaha. The translation and purport by His Divine Grace is Bhakti Vedanta Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Sukadeva Goswami said, "My dear king, the servants of the Vishnudutas are always expert in the way logic and arguments. After hearing the statements of Yamadutas, they replied as follows." So here, Srila Prabhupada explains, uh, Yamadutas starts speaking, Vishnudutas starts countering all the arguments given by Yamadutas. Here he mentions the Vishnudutas are expert in logic and arguments. So a devotee, here we can see the nature of a devotee. A devotee should be very much expert in logic and arguments. So Srila Prabhupada, you can see if you see the lectures of the Srila Prabhupada, he used to give so many arguments. He used to counter argument. He used to give positive arguments and he counters. So everyone who claims to be a devotee should be very much expert in the logic and arguments, which can be only be done by reading the Srila Prabhupada's books. There is no other alternative except for reading Srila Prabhupada's books. Whenever we read Srila Prabhupada's books, letters, all those morning lectures, a devotee can be very much expert in the logic and argument. So what was the earlier Yamaduta's arguments? So Jamila was a qualified Brahmana. So this was the first thing. Second was he was associated with a prostitute. So as a Brahmana, maintaining cleanliness is one of the qualities of a Brahmana. So in the four regulative principles, no illicit sexual affairs with the opposite gender. And Ajamila broken that regulative principle. And he not only associated with the prostitute, he maintained her very illegally, killing so many people, stealing so much money, and what not all the things. So he lost all the good qualities. So from this incident, we can understand that when we associate with illegally with the opposite gender, all the good qualities which we have earned is lost. So the second regulative principle of no illicit sex is very much important. And due to the sinful activities, he was supposed to be punished for every sin. For every sin committed, there should be a punishment. So in the third chapter or third canto of the Srimad Bhagavatam, where the hellish planets were described, so we can see Tamishra, Andatamishra, all the Raurava, all those things. So for each and every sin committed, there is a hellish planet for punishing. So punishment is very much required. Why this punishment is required? It's a nature's law. So Krishna has designed this nature in such a way that so every sin needs to be punished accordingly. This is the nature law. This is only to purify. This is not there, not to take some limits. It's not for a tit for tat thing. It is only to punish, so purify the soul. So earlier in earlier days, the kings used to punish the sinful accordingly. They used to hang the murderer. Now it is abolished in almost all the countries. So earlier the king used to hang the person who has committed murders. So it is only to purify the person and get a next nice body. But after the abolishment, now we do not know how much the soul has to suffer in the different hellish planets. So that's why punishment was very much required, and Yamaraj is the in charge who takes care of this all the punishments. So here the Vishnu Dutas or Bhagavad Dutas. The Bhagavad Dutas are nothing but the Vishnu Dutas or the representation of the Vishnu. They were listening. They were earlier see they were listening very attentively. It is not it's not that. So generally how we listen to speak. So we have certain argument to make, and the person who is speaking, we wait for the person to touch upon the point. When the opposite person touches the point, we are ready to speak. We are listening to speak, not listening to understand. But Vishnudutas are listening to the words of Yamadutas very carefully and attentively. They consider all the arguments of Yamadutas. So, but this human life, Srila Prabhupada explains that this human life is a junction. So there is a junction between the lower systems or upper systems. Either we can go to the lower planetary system to the Pathala Loka, or to the upper planetary systems to the Satya Loka or Brahma Loka, or in this human form of life, we can go back to Godhead. This is the only form which can through which we can reach the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So when we follow Yamadutas, when we follow our own sense enjoyment, so we are following the Yamadutas, path of Yamadutas. And if we are following the words of the Krishna and the devotees, Acharyas, so we are following the path of Bhagavad Dutas. And in no time, one can become a Bhagavad Duta. So that's what Sri Krishna in Bhagavad Gita he explains. Yanti deva vratadevan pitrun yanti pitrvratan bhuteja yani bhutani madhyajino avi yanti mam. In 9.25 he explains. So whatever our practice may be, we are practicing, we will go to the destination. So if you are worshipping the Pitrulokas, we are going to the Pitruloka. If you are worshipping Devatas, you are going to Devata Loka. And if you are worshipping the Supreme Personality of Godhead, we are going back to Godhead. So, in this human form of life, only we can make any selection. There is a possibility of making any selection. So, in the lower species of life, they have no intelligence. Intelligence is only to intelligence was given to the lower systems only for Ahara Nidra Bhayamayat. So they all the animals, all those things, those Ahara Nidra Bhayam Maitanamja, and that intelligence uses for that. And the upper planetary systems are like Yakshas, Kinras, Kimpuras, till Brahmaloka, though they have intelligence, because of the opulence, they could not take the decisions. Of course, there are devotees there. That's a different case. Normally, when they are in the enjoyment mentality, it is very difficult to take the side of Krishna. So the intelligence will only be used for again Ahara Nidra Maitana only in sophisticated way here in SSR. So that's the difference between the upper planetary systems and lower planetary system. But in the human life, in this earthly planets, we have a capability to make a selection. So based on our selection, based on our decision, our destination changes. No chances in the lower species of life. In human life, you have got the only chance. That is why human life is so rare. When after leaving this body, we do not know. Again, when the human life gets, we get at least devotees, we understand that we by following this Krishna consciousness, at least we are sure of getting a human birth. But you have to see the case of the Bharata Maharaj. Again, in the for the Bharata Maharaj case, we can understand that we can also fall in the to the lower species of life. Of course, our bhakti comes even in the lower species of life. But at least we are guaranteed that human form of life is guaranteed. But what about the persons who are not aware of all these things? They do not know what the next body is. So Srila Prabhupada says we should be clear on what body we are going to get in the next life. So we are fortunate to get the guidance from His divine grace and so many other Maharajas and senior devotees. So here, in essence, we can see in the last two chapters, we can see there are only two kinds of servants, dutas. Here, there is no mentioning of a master. Here, everything is mentioned about duta only. So here, except for Krishna, everyone are dutas. There is no other master. Only Krishna is the master. So there are two servants. One is the Maya servant, and the other is the Krishna servant or Bhagavad dutas. So, but our illusion. So illusion means what we understand what which is not. Our illusion is we are thinking that I am this master, I am the controller, I am the proprietor, and I am the enjoyer. This is the illusion which we are all in. So everyone is actually a slave. So we are all slaves either of our senses or of Krishna. So when you are enjoying our senses, we are slaves of the senses, Bodhasa. But when we serve Krishna, when we please Krishna through our senses, we are actually serving the Krishna. The problem is when we forget our relationship with Krishna. So we have forgot our sambandha with Krishna. We are serving the senses of the Krishna. So so master means we all know the definition of master means that any instruction given by the master should be executed by the servant without any question, whether it is bad or good. The servant has to execute the instructions of the master. When our master is Maya or our senses, we are going to fall into the Andakupa, darkest of the places. The Prahlad Maharaj says, when we follow the senses, we go to the lowest of the planetary systems. But when our master is the supreme person of God, Sri Krishna, we become Bhagavadutas or devotees, and which is our perfection, ultimate perfection of our life. So what we have to do? Srila Prabhupada gives us the instruction. What is our immediate action? We have to simply follow the dictations of Sri Krishna. Whatever Krishna dictates, we have to follow. His dictations are in Bhagavad Gita and Bhagavatam. But how can I get the Arjuna got in dictation directly? And so many other devotees got directly instructions from Vishnu, Krishna, everyone. But whatever ours, from where are we going to get the dictations of Krishna? We are going to get the dictation from our parampara, sampradaya. So without sampradaya, we are not getting those words. Evam parampara prapta imam rajasya vijahu. So through this parampara only, we are going to get the Krishna's instructions. So my Guru's instructions are not different from Krishna's instructions. Sakshat Daritvena Samasta Shastre. Krishna is, spiritual master is not different from Krishna. When we accept our spiritual master and execute his instructions, we are actually following the instructions of the Krishna. And among the art of chanting Hare Krishna says, there are so many instructions which a guru gives. And among of all the chanting of the holy names is the first and foremost and very much important. There is no compromise. Of course, there is no compromise for the remaining. Automatically, all the things will come into place. But when we are chanting the holy names, then automatically we are surrendering to Krishna. That is the first level of surrender. So that's in the coming slokas we hear the glories of the chanting. This entire chapter describes about the glories of the chanting, and which is the first and foremost which our Guru expects. So anyone would like to volunteer for the translation of this text?
Hare Krishna. Can I read?
Yes.
Translation and purport has been divine blessed Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. The Vishnu Dutta said, alas, how painful is that a religion is being introduced into an assembly where religion should be maintained. Indeed, those in charge of maintaining the religious principles are needlessly punishing a sinless, unpunishable person. Hare Krishna.
The Vishnu Dutta said, alas, how painful is it that a religion is being introduced into an assembly where religion should be maintained. Indeed, those in the charge of maintaining the religious principles are needlessly punishing a sinless, unpunishable person. Here, Vishnu Duttas are saying, you are Yamadutas, you are supposed to be the maintainer of the religion or a follower of the religion, and you are not. You are following now. You are following the path of irreligion. How pitiful it is. So we all know there are two types of words in this two types of words in the creation of Krishna. One is the spiritual world where the Vishnu Dutas reside, and other is the material world where the Yamadutas take charge. So anyone who is not following the principle of religion, one who is not following the paths of the religion, are sure to be taken by the Yamadutas. When you follow the religion, Vishnu Dutas personally come and take us. So the question is, what is the religion? The religion doesn't mean one is a Hindu, one is a Muslim, one is a Christian or so. The Greek word of the religion means connection to the Supreme Lord. Connection, the yoga, the Bhagavad Gita describes Karma Yoga, Jnana Yoga, Ashtanga Yoga, and Bhakti Yoga. Yoga means to connect to Krishna. The religion means to connect to the Supreme Lord Sri Krishna. And Bhakti Yoga is the topmost of all the yogas. So we all know that. So the real religion means Bhagavata Dharma. The Dharma Bojita Kaitava Atra Dharma. So in the first canto of the Srimad Bhagavatam, the glories of the Srimad Bhagavatam is mentioned. When we read Srimad Bhagavatam, when we follow Srimad Bhagavatam, irreligion is taken away, and and religion, true religion is given in place. That is nothing but the Bhagavad Dharma. In the material world, we are susceptible for being punished by Yamadutas. When we stay in the material world, when you are roaming in this material world, you are under the control of the Yamadutas or Yamaraj. As we mentioned, Srila Prabhupada mentions the real Dharma is Bhagavad Dharma. One should be very intelligent. Only an intelligent person can understand the philosophy of Krishna. So one has to require certain intelligence to accept Krishna as the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So without that, it is impossible. So by our intelligence, we have to see, we have to understand the logics and arguments of the devotees. Then only we can understand the philosophy of Krishna. Once you accept, you cannot argue anything. Till the point of accepting a guru, till the point of accepting a parampara, we can use our logics and arguments. Maybe this, maybe that, maybe that. But once you are surrendered to a guru, and there is no other argument, our intelligence is, the guru's intelligence is our intelligence. Then the argument stops there. So yes, we can use our intelligence to execute the guru's instruction, not to understand, not to say, not to think that whether the guru is right or not. But how to execute the guru's instruction? Yes, we can use our intelligence. But our condition, what is our present condition is we are all ignorant. So we are not intelligent. We are ignorant. So being ignorant is not a fault. So Ajamila was also ignorant over here, and fortunately, because of because of being a Brahmana earlier, he could chant Narayana all the way. So what is our fault? Being ignorant is not a fault, but being ignorant and thinking that we know everything. The problem is we think that we know everything, but actually we do not know anything. The bad thing, we think that we know everything. That is the only problem we are having. That is our condition. So then, what is our solution of our ignorance? Tad vignantam sa gurum eva vigachet. Srila Prabhupada uses this statement very quite often. So we have to accept Guru. Om Ajnana Timirandasya Jnananjana Salakya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha. The Guru comes, brings the torchlight of the knowledge and brings us from darkness of illusion to the light of service. So this was formerly the responsibility of the kings. So whether you take it Parikshit Maharaj, Prahlad Maharaj, or Yudhishthir, so all the kings we have seen, their duty was to take charge of the all the prajas and guide them to get the Krishna's mercy. So it will maintain the Varnashrama Dharma, Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Sudra. By maintenance of Varnashrama Dharma, anyone can anyone can reach to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. But unfortunately, because of our so-called politician, we have lost all those things. If the so here it is introduced into the assembly. So here it is given an assembly. So presently our assembly is a courts, the Supreme Court, High Court, or district courts. So whenever we face, if it says a breach of conduct, so we approach the court, thinking that the judge over there gives a right judgment in favor of the person who is favorable, so who is right. But if the court itself is polluted, then how people will live? So we all know, we all are sure that courts are not, today's courts are not going to give justice easily. A pure soul is not going to get justice very in this Kali Yuga. So in 12th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam says, if you don't have money, you are not going to get justice in the court. The money decides to whom the judgment goes. So here, the Vishnudutas are claiming that, so in this place of court, that deathbed is a place of court where the judgment is given whether the soul has to go to the Yamaraj or Krishna. But here, Ajamila has chanted the holy names of Narayana. Antakalecha Mameva. Yamadutas are saying here, Ajamila deviated from Bhagavad Dharma. Yes, it is a fact that he is deviated. But because he chanted Narayana, he was saved. Salpam api asya trayado mahado bayat. Bhagavad Gita 2.40 says, by small service, the greatest of danger of death is lost. And Ajamila has chanted the holy name Narayana, and he should be protected. That's why chanting Hare Krishna, especially at the time of death, is the successful way to go back to Godhead. At the Anta Kalecha Mameva Smaranmukta. So we all have to chant Hare Krishna at the time of death. So, as a role of the what is the role of a devotee? So we all know in the case of COVID pandemic and so many pandemics, so where there is lots of contamination happening, and doctors were ordered by the government to go to the places of pandemic and treat the patients over there. So the duty of the Vishnu Dutas, the duty of Bhagavad Dutas or devotees is to go to these contaminated places on the order of Krishna and give this Harinama to all the people, make them free from this contamination and get back to the Krishnas. So as a duty, being a devotee, our main responsibility is to preach the glories of the holy name. That is what Srila Prabhupada is giving. Everyone has to reach Krishna consciousness in the capability they have. So anyone would like to volunteer for text number 3? Any volunteers for text number 3? Okay. Text number 3. A king or governmental official. Hare Krishna. Yes. Somebody.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. I'll read.
Okay, yes, Prabhu, please.
A king or government official should be so well qualified that he acts as a father, maintainer, and protector of the citizens because of affection and love. He should give the citizens good advice and instructions according to the standard scriptures and should be equal to everyone. Yamraja does this, for he is the supreme master of justice, and so do those who follow in his footsteps. However, if such persons become polluted and exhibit
Partiality.
And exhibit become polluted and exhibit partiality by punishing an innocent, blameless person, where will the citizens go to take shelter for their maintenance and security?
So here, Vishnu Dutas are explaining the partiality shown by the court or the government. So citizens generally are innocent. So they do not innocent like a small children. They do not know what is right and what is wrong. So the elderly persons like parents, grandparents, guardians, should guide the children, right? So we guide our children to become a better citizen. Otherwise, they fall into the wrong hands and they commit sinful activities. And enable government or court should treat people of the state or country as their children. They should be acting like a father. That was the earlier condition. So whenever kings used to rule the planet, they used to treat the citizens as their children. He was a father. So that's like in the case of Dhruv Maharaj. Dhruv Maharaj was sitting in the lap of his father Uttanapada, when Uttanapada throws him out of the lap. So there it was mentioned that a king should be supposed to be like a father to Dhruva. Though he's a biological father, he should also be like a kingly father. So if whenever a child gets distressed and a child has a problem, he approaches his father or his parent. But what if the parents are corrupt? In today's Kali Yuga time, we can see mother and father are so corrupt. They're not taking care of the children properly. If the parents are not available for the children, or parents are in a wrong direction, then what is the fate of the children and what is the fate of such a country? So here, Vishnu Dutas are questioning the same. Citizens are like innocent children, and Yamadutas, Yamadharmaras, who is supposed to take as the government, as a court, is impartial, then where shall the soul go and take shelter of? So here, Prajanam Pitro Yecha Sastra Sadosamaha. So here it is mentioned that how impartial they should be and how competent they should be to give the protection to the citizens. If you see the story, if you see the life of the Lord Sri Ram, so when he was young, he was sitting with the Dasarath Maharaj in the assembly, where the police or that guard brings a thief into the assembly for the judgment, and Dasarath Maharaj hears that argument, hears that the conviction, and Sri Ram says, "Oh Father, first of all, we have to understand here the plight of the thief. Why did he commit the thief?" And Ram asks that person, "Why did you commit the thief, thievery?" And that person says, "Because I am hungry. I was hungry, and in no way I could not arrange for food. I did this. I committed this sinful activity." And Ram said, "So this is the problem, oh father. He did not have any occupation, any money. So we should give him sufficient money and some occupation for him to do." So later Dasarath gives him a suitable post for him, and then the thief got the person got money and used to maintain his family. So you can see from the life of the Ram and how he judged that person. He did not see the act, see the cause of the act, and gave a solution for that act. So like that, a court should understand the plight of the convict and give the necessary judgment. And in the second two lines, it was mentioned, "Yadi shat eshu vaishamya tam yanti saranam prajaha." What is the condition of the situation where they will not go for protection if the court is not, if the court is partial? So due to this, so during the 1947 partition of India and Pakistan, we can see the government how it was partial to one portion, and Hindus and Muslims got separated, though many of them were not willing to do so. So some families were stuck in India, and some families were stuck in Pakistan. There was separation of the families. So because of our present Kali Yuga government, so people are losing their families. So here Vishnudutas are claiming that Ajamil should not be taken away because he is already cleansed by his sinful activities. He is already cleansed. Standing in life is sufficient, but that's what we are not going to do. Chanting of the holy name is sufficient. It has potential to clear entire sinful lives of all of us. But the unfortunate situation is we are not doing that, or we are doing it in an offensive way. So offenses on the strength of the holy name. So we may think that yes, Ajamil has done so many wrongs, and at the end of the life, he did chanted Narayana mantra and he got saved. So similarly, today I will enjoy all the things, and on the time of the deathbed, I will chant Hare Krishna, and it is not going to happen until and unless we are practicing it in our whole life. Text number 4. Anyone would like to take that? Text number 4, 5, and 6. Hare Krishna, Prabhuji Maharaj. So the mass of the people follow the example of a leader in the society and imitate his behavior. They accept as evidence of whatever the leader accepts. You can see the slogan over here. Yaddet acharati sreyan itaras tattat ihade sayat pramanam kurute lokas tat anuvartate. It is same as Bhagavad Gita. Yaddet acharati sesa tattat evataro janaha sayat pramanam kurute lokas tat anuvartate. So here it is mentioned that people will generally follow the leaders. If the leader is not right, and then people are going to follow the leader and become the corrupt one. So in the earlier days, when if you see the life of Parikshit Maharaj, so Parikshit Maharaj chastised Kali Purusha, and Kali could not get any chance in the kingdom of Parikshit. Not because of only because of the Parikshit Maharaj, people also followed Parikshit Maharaj. The ideals set by the Parikshit Maharaj, they all followed. There was no place for Kali Purusha to sit, and Kali asked few places. And ultimately, because of the curse of the Shringi, Kali found one place and he entered there. And till that time, there was no place for Kali. That was the exalted position of the entire government. That's why there is no wonder our civilization is like this right now. The kings are not following the dharma properly, and no wonder citizens are like that. So that you see, like the king, prajas are like the king. So as a leaders, who are the leaders? Gurus, father, guardians, civilized, all the elderly people are supposed to be the correct leaders. People in general are not very advanced in knowledge by which to discriminate between religion and irreligion. The innocent and unenlightened citizen is like an ignorant animal sleeping in peace with its head on the lap of its master, faithfully believing in the master's protection. If the leader is actually kind-hearted and deserves to be an object of living entity's faith, how can he punish or kill a foolish person who has fully surrendered in good faith and relationship? So here it is iterated. Children is ignorant. So as an ignorant child, what does he do? He sleeps in the lap of a mother. And if the mother is killing the child, then where does the child take care? So mother is considered to be next to God. If the mother is not taking care of the children and mother is killing the child, then where should the child take care? Where does the child go? Who can protect the child? Similarly, the innocent soul, innocent people, when they take the shelter of the leader has to protect the innocent soul. The leader is exploiting that soul, then where does the soul take reside? Now, this is the situation of Ajamil. He chanted the holy names and got purified. Actually, he is pure. The soul is purified. And if the Yamadutas are not aware of all these things, and they are partial, then where does the soul take care? They take shelter of. So save, that's what when Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu says, Sevon Mukahi Jihvado. If you want to realize God or Krishna, engage your tongue in the service of the Lord. If you want to realize Krishna, you have to engage our tongue in either eating the prasada or the chanting of the holy names. Then only we are going to get purified. This is the duty of a guru. The duty of a guru or a father or government or elderly relative is to educate everyone in the process of the chanting of the holy name, engaging mouth in the service of the Krishna. Sakatam na Sakatam na Anyapritam Krita Mitram Achetam. So Srila Prabhupada says that if you all think that my spiritual master is there, he will take care of everything. I do not have any role in this. Let my Guru Maharaj take care of all those things. That doesn't happen. If you are until and unless we are willing to serve the Guru and get rectified. Even after if you are not willing to get purified, then even though we have a Guru like Prabhupada or so, it is waste of time. The Guru is not a fashion statement. So everyone is getting initiated, so I need to get initiated. That is not the way to take initiation. Are we ready to get atoned for that? Get purified? You hear from instructions of the Guru, then only we should take the initiation of the Guru Maharaj. Everyone on one day or the other has to take the initiations from a pure soul in the disciplic session of Krishna. Ajamila had already atoned for all his sinful reactions. Indeed, he has atoned not only for sins performed in one life, but for those performed in millions of lives. For in a helpless condition, he chanted the holy name of Narayana. Even though he did not chant purely, he chanted without offense. And therefore, he is now pure and eligible for liberation. So Yamadutta is saying, because of his chanting of the holy names, Ajamila got purified. So Vishnudutta actually declared that this person, Ajamila, though he has a sinful background, because he is now clean. How he is clean? It is mentioned, he is uttered the name of the Narayana. Is not artificially. So, I know some people during the time of death, they ask that person to chant Narayana, but they could not chant Narayana. If they could not even chant, utter a word Na, what to speak of Narayana. So this word Narayana at the last moment will not come artificially. But for Ajamil case, it came it automatically. It is not artificial way. Or similarly, when our life is entirely dedicated to Krishna, when you are when you are following this Krishna conscious path, automatically the remembrance of Krishna will come at the last moment. So Mayavadis generally say that any name can be taken at the last moment, whether it is Lord Shiva or Brahma or this Devata, that Devata. It doesn't necessarily mean Hari. But it doesn't happen. We all know that 10 offenses is holy name. So the name of Lord Vishnu cannot be equated with the names of Lord Brahma and Shiva. So there the Mayavadis fail. They misguide the souls. So fortunately, because of the Sampradaya, because of his divine grace, A.C. Bhakti Vedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada, we could understand what are the Nam Aparats. That is the Aparat. So equating the Lord Shiva's name or other Devata's name with the name of Vishnu. So this is not whimsically said. This is all present in the Shastras. Harinameva Kevalam, Harinameva Kevalam, Harinameva Kevalam, Hello Nasteva, Nasteva, Nasteva. Shastras proclaim that only Harinama Sankirtana will do it, not any other name. So no deviation, no alternative process for that except for the chanting of the holy names of Lord Vishnu. And especially for all of us, it is Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So next, the question of Yamadutas might be, how he has become clean? Yes, he has chanted the holy name, then how did he become clean? So the Prabhupada answers here, the answers to this question as Sarva Dharman Parityaja Mamekam Sharanam Raja. So when we surrender to Supreme Personality of Godhead, all the sins are cleared by the Supreme Personality of Godhead only. We cannot clear our own sins. The Sri Krishna only who has to do the chanting, clean the sins. And we all know Rupa Goswami says that his chanting of the holy names is non-different from Krishna. Nana Makari Bahuda Nija Sarva Shaktis. The Krishna's potency is entirely invested in this holy name of the Krishna, on holy names. This holy name is not different from Krishna. When we chant the holy names, we are actually surrendering to Krishna. And we are doing Sarvadharman Parityaja. And Krishna naturally removes all the sins, all the anarthas. But what this is assurance given by Krishna. And I'm going to clean all your sins. But the problem is we all have doubt on Krishna. We are a doubting souls. We do not have any confidence on Krishna. So Krishna says in many places, in many shastras, Asamsaya, do not doubt what I say. Krishna says so many places, do not doubt what I say. Follow me, surrender to me, surrender to me by chanting of the holy names. But we are not doing that thing. To chant without committing any offense to the holy name, then we can become liberated. Here, Ajamila did not commit any offense to the holy name. Though he was sinful, he did not commit any offenses to the holy name. That's why when he chanted the Lord Narayana, he was cleansed. So this is the purpose of Ajamila's story. We all have to understand from this. We have to chant the holy names without any offenses. The 10 offenses which we heard, we have to guard against that. Next number 8. The Vishnudutas continued, even previously while eating or at times, this Ajamila would call his son, saying, My dear Narayana, please come here. Although calling the name of his son, he nevertheless uttered the 4 syllables Narayana. Simply by chanting the name of Narayana in this way, sufficiently atone for sinful reactions of the million lives. Generally, we think that Ajamila only chanted at the last moment. No. he chanted the names of Narayana that right from the birth of his youngest child. When the child was born, youngest child was born, he was named Narayana, and he was very much affected to the affection to that youngest child, and he used to affectionately call him Narayana. So actually, Prabhupada mentions here that Yamadutas are meant for the unclean and sinful people. So Yamadutas come only for the sinful people, and they don't come for the devotees. In Ramaraksha Sutra says, Varjanam Bhavabijanam Arjanam Sukha Sampadam Tarjanam Yamadutanam Rama Rameti Garjanam. So in that it is mentioned that Tarjanam Yamadutana. So Yamadutas don't come and run away from the person who chants the names of the Lord Ram like a Garjana, like a roaring lion. At that time, Yamadutas don't come to that place. So we have to chant the holy names loudly, attentively, like that lion. So by this process, Ajamila was become clean. So Yamadutas, I was asking the question, when this man became sinless, only he chanted at the last moment. When did he become so much sinless person? And Vishnudutas answered that from the time he was affectionate to his youngest son Narayana. From the time the child was born and he was named Narayana and he was affectionately called Narayana, come here, Narayana, drink milk, Ramaya, come here and sleep with me. He was affectionately calling his youngest child always. So this chanting of the holy name added as a credit to Ajamil. That's why everyone has to keep the child name or Narayana or Vishnu's name. But unfortunately, we use some fancy names, Chikku, Pikku, or something, which even we cannot pronounce. So in the name of modernity, so keep your child name simple, the names of the Vishnu. And when we chant the names of Vishnu by consciously or unconsciously, everyone are going to get the credit. So either so there is a saying that there is an art of Hare Krishna book. It was mentioned that whether you chant consciously or unconsciously, jokingly or mockingly, whatever, the credit is given to the chanter. But the condition, what is the condition over here? Don't commit sinful activities on the strength of the holy name, the 10 offenses of the holy name. So don't commit any sinful activities on this strength, because chanting clears, so I can do whatever I like. No, don't do that. That's what the 10 offenses Namaparad says, and here also Vishnu Dutas are claiming that. It doesn't matter if he is calling his son, the name itself is effective. Whether you're calling our son, our children, or you're calling the street name, it doesn't matter. Until unless we are not committing sinful activities on the strength of the holy name. But the problem is, Namakari Bahuda Nija Sarva Shakti Tatrapita Niyamita Smarane Kalaha. So there is so much potential in this holy name, but we are unfortunate that we are not able to derive benefit out of it. It is all because of the Namaparas. So His Holiness Jayapataka Swami Maharaj, in his book called Lip Service, he mentions, are we chanting really, or is it just a lip service? Is the Hare Krishna mantra coming just from the lips or from the heart? So text number 9 and 10. The chanting of the holy name of the Lord Vishnu is the best process of atonement for a thief of gold or other valuables, for a drunkard, for one who betrays a friend or relatives, for one who kills a brahmana, or for one who indulges in the sex life with the wife of a guru or another superior. It is also the best method for atonement for one who murders woman, the king or his father, for one who slaughters cows, and for all other sinful men. Simply by chanting the holy name of the Lord Vishnu, such sinful persons may attract the attention of the Supreme Lord, who therefore considers, because this man was chanted my holy name, my duty is to give him protection. See what a relief giving statement. So the Vishnu Duta's words are non-different from the words of the Vishnu. So what is he saying? Whatever it may be, whatever gory acts he has earlier committed, if he chants my holy name, and I will give him the protection. So this is the way of taking surrender. Just chant the holy names, and you are sure to get the protection from the Supreme Personality of Godhead. The name is enough. So there are stages in chanting. So the moment we chant, of course, as the sins gets purified one after the other, but there are stages of the chanting. But the first stage is called Nam Aparad. So we chant the holy names with anarthas. Anarthas are nothing but materialistic desires, which has no artha, which has no meaning. That is the stage one of the chanting. So we chant Hare Krishna mantra, at the same time we are expecting some material desire to take place. But slowly doing all these things by hearing Srimad Bhagavad Gita and Bhagavatam in the association with devotees and practicing the four regulatory principles and doing all the sevas, our stage of chanting goes from stage one of Nama Aparaj to Nama Abhasa. The second stage is called Nama Abhasa, where we are chanting the holy names without any offenses. But the problem is there is no love for Krishna. There are no offenses. At the same time, there is no love towards Krishna. And from then, at the last stage is Suddha Nama, where we are chanting with the love of God. But when we are chanting, what we have to pray? Namo Mahavadanyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namine Goraksha. So our goal is to chant the Suddha Nama, pure chanting. That is our goal. So when you are chanting the holy name, we have to pray that now I am chanting with offenses or without any offenses, but I'm praying and chanting this, get your prema. That is our goal. That is the goal of a devotee. And that Suddhanama will give you the protection. By following the Vedic ritualistic ceremonies or undergoing atonement, sinful men do not become as purified as by chanting once the holy name of the Lord Hari. Although ritualistic atonement may free one from the sinful reaction, it does not awaken devotional service. Unlike the chanting of the Lord's names, which reminds one of the Lord's names, qualities, attributes, pastimes, and paraphernalia. So there are so many ritualistic ceremonies, so many yajnas, homas, all these things we do. So when there is a problem in our astrology, so astrologer asks you to donate some till or some money or some food to the and certain rules and regulations he will keep. So why? So that whatever problem is there in your horoscope that gets rectified. But such ritualistic ceremonies won't give you free from sinful activity actions. So the sins which are going to come are going to come. If you are doing only the ritualistic ceremonies, yes, some sins might get atoned, but our sinful tendencies are not lost. Sins may be lost, but tendency to commit sins is not lost by these ritualistic ceremonies. Spiritual life or religious life should make us advance to go back to Godhead. The entire ceremonies, ritualistic ceremonies or spiritual activities should make us think that we should go back to Godhead and not to make for material attachment, material enjoyment. Dharma, artha, kama, moksha, good. But our goal is not moksha, our goal is Krishna Prema. Even after purifying the sinful tendencies might not go. So where Prahlad Maharaj, like Parikshit Maharaj says, even though you have atoned for the sinful activity, the sinful tendency has not gone. It is like an elephant bath. So it goes to the bath, gets clean, and pours the mud again and becomes unclean. Because these ritualistic ceremonies will not remove the sinful tendencies. So only the chanting of the Hare Krishna mantra will give you will remove all the sinful tendencies. So what you have to do, control the mind. Controlling the mind is difficult. Krishna consciousness is a solution. So in the controlling the mind, there are three stages to control our mind. First is to stop the mind from doing the wrong things. We have to stop our mind. Second, it is to not agitate it. You have stopped the mind and you should not give agitation. And third is engaging it in the Krishna conscious activities. The first is Hare Krishna mantra stop the mind from doing the wrong things and also purifies it. By following the 4 regulative principles, no meat eating, all those things, and he eating the Krishna Prasada, makes the mind not agitate. And engaging our mind in the service of the devotees and Krishna makes us sinless. But all these ritualistic ceremonies are used to for papam and punyam. So either you do pious activities or papam activities. But whatever may be, papam or punyam, both are all putative activities. They are all materialistic activities. We do punya to counteract the papam. So because we do it for certain result, the punyam is also a materialistic activity. But in the life of devotee, it is not papa and punya, it is the devotion. So we have to do chanting of the holy names is the only way to do it. At the time of death, this Ajamila helplessly and very loudly chanted the holy name of the Lord Narayana. That chanting alone has already freed him from the reactions of all the sinful life. Therefore, O servants of Yamaraja, do not try to take him to your master for punishment to the hellish condition. So here Vishnudutta has concluded that Ajamila has committed all the possible sins. It's a fact. It is known thing. According to your rules, he should be punished. But one thing he did, he chanted the holy names without any offense. That's why he is all purified. Harinam Kevalam, he did it. He did Harinam, and he also did Anta Kalecha Mameva. He remembered Narayana at the last moment and he got purified. So one should not commit the whole offenses on the strength of the holy name. One who chants the holy name of the Lord is immediately freed from the reactions of unlimited sins, even if chants indirectly to indicate something else, jokingly, for musical entertainment, or even neglectfully. This is accepted by all learned scholars of the scriptures. So, Nanamakari Bahuta Chaitanya Mahaprabhu regretted that the holy name of the Krishna is so powerful that all the potencies or energies are in this absolute name, and he could not derive the benefit out of it. That is the nature of a devotee. Unfortunately, we are not even understanding this statement. So we all know, we all celebrate Vrindavan Dham, right? We have all gone to Vrindavan Yatra. We all worship Vrindavan Dham. Why? Because Dham is non-different from Krishna. So scripture says that Dham is also non-different from Krishna, and Vrindavan Dham is non-different from Krishna, because all the pastimes of Krishna are there in Vrindavan. If you take a little dust from Vrindavan, we are taking the dust from the lotus feet of the Supreme Lord. So just like that, even the holy names of the Lord are non-different from Krishna. So Narottama Das, again, in one of his celebrated poems, he says, Vishayachariya kabe suddha hobe navana, kabe hame haribo Sri Vrindavana. So when are we going to see Vrindavan? When we do Vishayacharya. Vishaya means materialistic desires. When we leave materialistic desires, then our mind becomes Suddha. We become pure. At that time, only we can see the Vrindavan. So this ISKCON movement is only working on the Vishayacharya. So all these things are only for Vishayacharya. We remove all these material desires, then only we can see the beauty of the holy names, we can see the potency of the holy name, and we can chant the holy names in the mind. If one chants, so how should he do the chanting? Sanketam. So for text 14 says Sanketam, by assignation. Whether you call your child or spouse or any name, any other name which is on Vishnu's name, that is sufficient. So keep your child's name just like Ajamila kept Narayana. Second is Parihashyam, either by jokingly. Oh, these people are always chanting the Hare Krishna mantra. Whether they do it in jokingly or not, they are getting the benefit. Tobhyam, making fun, like musical instrument. We all do Harinam Sankirtan on the roads, by many kirtans. We use Kirtana Mela. All these things you are using the Harinam in the music through your musical instruments. The Stobhyam. Helanam, either you do it neglectfully or not. Your ena tena prakarena mana Krishna nivashyati. By any way, if you are engaging our senses in the Krishna consciousness, that gives you the highest benefit. Patita skalito bagna sandrastastaptaha hata haririti avasinaha puman narahati yatanaha. If one chants the holy name of Hari and dies because of an accidental misfortune, such as falling from the top of the house, slipping and suffering broken bones while traveling on the road, being bitten by the serpent, being afflicted with pain and high fever, or being injured by a weapon, one is immediately absolved from having to enter the hellish life, even though he is sinful. So, we all have committed many sins, whether we know it or not know it. And also, we all understand, we all know that death can strike at any moment, whether it is in the next moment or few days or a few months or few years. We do not know. Fortunately, Parikshit Maharaj knew it, but we unfortunately don't know how many seconds we have, or how many milliseconds we have. So death can come at any time. It can come from an accident, like you can see like this, falling from a top of a house, slipping, suffering broken bones, accidents, serpents biting. So many ways you can we can get killed. But what is the effect of the chanting of the holy names which are mentioned in the text quoted? So we have said Helalam, neglectfully, jokingly, all those things. So when you chant even in that way, the pain of death is removed. They say the pain of death is removed and pain from having and to enter the hellish life is removed. That's why when we do Jagannath Radhayatra or Nagar Sankirtanan, we are doing the greatest benefit by saving the people from accidental deaths or and by entering into the hellish condition of life. So all possible effects as in the purport or what is given in the translation. Just press it. Just try Hare Krishna and see. Srila Prabhupada challenges in one of his lectures to a person. Just test this Hare Krishna and see whether you get the pain of death or not. So you will be immediately feel that from the injuries you are not feeling any pain. Yam yam vapi sparanam bhavam anta kale. The 8.6 says yam yam vapi sparanam bhavam. If one somehow or the other chants the holy name, in the purport here, Srila Prabhupada mentions, if one somehow or the other chants the holy name of the Lord, when he meets with an accident and dies, he will be saved from the hellish life after death. What is the glories of the holy name? Because Ajamil chanted the holy name throughout his life, because either it may unconsciously or consciously, and at the time of death, he could fortunately remember Narayana, and Vishnu Dutas remembered him and has taken the charge of Ajamil. So Ajamil was given a second chance. So how many chances did Krishna give to all of us? He has given unlimited chances. It's not a second chance. We are given so many chances. He has given so many births as a human being. We all got at another life of human being. Let us all perfect this life by chanting the Hare Krishna mantra, by carefully avoiding the 10 offenses to the holy name. Only the Namaruchi can do that. The Chaitanya Charitamrita says, how can we give Namaruchi? Only the way of Jivadaya and and Vaishnava Seva. So when preaching the holy name, breathing the holy names to all the people is Jivadaya, and serving the senior devotees, all the devotees in the our satsang, in the satsangs, gives us the taste of the chanting of the holy names, and that chanting of the holy name takes us from the cruel death to go back to Godhead. Hare Krishna. Thank you all so much for giving me this opportunity to speak something on holy names. Though there are so much to do to spoken about holy names. Please read the art of chanting Hare Krishna, then you understand the glories of the holy names and perfect your chanting of the chanting. Please pray for me that one day I will get I get the taste of the holy name. Thank you so much. Hare Krishna, the forum is open for all of you to give some comments, questions, suggestions, or even chastisement. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Wonderful class.
Thank you so much, Praveen.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam, Prabhuji.
Dhanavad Pranam, Satyadev Prabhu.
Thank you so much, Prabhuji. Prabhuji, this is a really, Ajamila story is really one of the best stories in Bhagavatam. But one question is, a lot of people, I think, after hearing this story, there is a confusion that okay, we do whatever things, and then in the end, we'll just chant, the name, and then all the sins are going to be, removed. So, can we do that? They will have this question, like, after knowing this, okay, when we call the Lord's name, all the sins will be removed, whether do it as intentionally or unintentionally also. So how do we explain to those people who are saying that?
So as we have seen in this, actually, Ajamil has committed sins, but he never committed sins on the strength of the holy name. He didn't say, okay, I will chant Narayana and my sins are lost. He did not do. He did not know the glory of the holy name. He committed sinful activities, but it is not on the. We say that okay, I'm chanting this way. This chanting will give me free from sinful. He did not do that. He did not do that from his life. He just called his child Narayana. Narayana, come here. Narayana, do that. Narayana, this, that. Narayana, that. But with affection. So we can say that. So it is this entire story is to say that we should chant the holy names without any offenses, and on the strength of the holy name we should not do that. This is the entire story. This is the entire concept of Ajamil.
Yes, Prabhuji. But Prabhuji, one question is, does ignorance will give a relaxation to the results of sinful activities? I mean, if I say that, oh, I don't know if it is a sin. When people commits a sinful activity unknowingly, does it give a relaxation for the reactions of the sin?
Obviously, and actually, whether we commit sins when due to ignorance or not, we are going to get reactions or whatever may be.
Yeah.
But ignorance will reduce that. But once you know that this is sinful and doing that is an offense. That's what is called sin and offense. So when we are chanting the holy names consciously, knowing that it will remove the sins, and doing that sin again on the strength of the holy name is called offense. So sins are caused because of the ignorance, and it has some small effect compared to the offenses.
Okay.
So when with knowledge, if you do it, it's offense, and Krishna takes it very seriously.
Okay, Prabhuji. Thank you so much, Prabhuji.
Great. Anyone would like to add to this? I don't know whether I have sufficiently answered the question or not. So Lilananda Prabhu, you can please add some points to that. Hare Krishna. So if there are no other questions, shall we wrap up?
Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna for the wonderful class.
Thank you, Mataji, for all of your association. Please bless me.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam. Thank you for
Krishna,
the session.
Thank you, Mataji.
Hare
So
Krishna,
please,
Prabhuji.
everyone,
Thank you
bless
so
me
much.
for my spiritual life. I am saying so many things. I am blabbering over here, but actually, I am not. I don't know how much I am practicing. Please pray that I practice what I say.
Thank you very much, Prabhuji. Thank you very much, Santosh Aditya Prabhu.
Thank you, Prabhuji. वाञ्छा कल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्येव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमः। अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जय। रामाचार्य श्री हरिदास ठाकुर गणतरा श्रीमद् भागवतम जी श्री प्रभुपाद की जय।
Jai.
We'll meet again tomorrow.
Yes, Prabhuji. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for accepting to take the class tomorrow also.
Thank you, Mataji, for ordering me to take it.
You know, Prabhuji. Thank you. Thank you everyone for joining. Hare Krishna.
Thank you. Thank you, Mataji, for organizing this one.